Hi guys, Elvis Abenga here from Begi'S Law Offices and Chambers, here with one of our weekly legal nuggets, talking about different issues in life and what the law has to say about it. Now today we are going to have a conversation, not very legal but something very practical, that I decided to call it emotional Jujitsu. Now that sounds very interesting, doesn't it? Now you might be thinking, how is that got to do with anything? This is everything to do with how we deal with disputes, how we can prevent ourselves, take care of ourselves so that we're not unnecessarily hurt by words, by actions of people. I'll tell you what I mean in a nutshell about emotional Jiu-Jitsu. Here's what we do. One, when you face an attack, I have a bit of a martial arts background, so I'm going to tap a little bit into that and help you see how you can use some of these skills in your day-to-day life in order to protect yourself, not just physically, but protect yourself emotionally speaking, so as not to get hurt, to avoid unnecessary disputes, to avoid unnecessary conflict, and in the overall, avoid paying lawyers to represent you in court. I know that sounds crazy, but I'll tell you something. Think about it. When you have an attack, someone, I'm walking down the road, someone with a mask or whatever shows up from somewhere and says, you know what, I'm going to beat you up. Then I'm like, okay, you want to beat me up? Okay. Then the person throws a punch at me. I have 4 different possible responses that I can do. Yeah? The first thing, I could be like, hey, look at my muscle. I'm going to be the man. I'll take in, beat me, and then, toughen up and take the punch and absorb it. And then once the punch has landed to me, I can be, I'll feel the pain, I'll absorb it, and maybe I'll get injured by it, depending on the severity of the blow. Or maybe I'm strong enough or stronger than the guy, and I'll be like, oh, yo, so is that all you got? And then, move on with life. So first thing, possibility I can do is to absorb it. Second possibility, I could decide to duck. Like, oh, you're beating me, then I do this, So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the guy's attack misses its target. And the target is me. But it doesn't hit any other target, it just misses the target. What that'll do is probably the guy will be more angry, maybe throw a second counter attack or something like that, or just get tired. You're ducking every time until you wear the guy out and be able to handle the conflict at that point. The third thing I can do is I could change the target. And if you've watched martial arts, you'll see a lot of this changing of target thing happening, where someone is, you're in a fight with 2-3 different people, and then one person punches me, and then I duck, and instead of just ducking, I ensure that the momentum of that strength is used to hit someone else, so that I have killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I have ducked, and I've gotten him with all his strength to hit his friend who's behind me, maybe holding me back, So, changing, that's called changing the target. And as well as the 4th possible option is fighting back, of course. Punching him faster than he can punch me. And then, of course, that becomes, probably not very desirable, because you might end up in jail. I might end up in jail, for assault. Now, you might be thinking at this point, what's this got to do with anything? I was thinking when I was doing a run someday in one of my daily exercises that these martial arts principles actually apply in real life, in anything that's life throws at you, in anything that someone throws at you, you can be able to apply this. Think about it. You're in a relationship with someone you love and you're quarreling. Or you're in a relationship where you have a friend, or even not a friend, an enemy, who says, you know what, you're an imbecile, insults you, or he says you're a dog or you're stupid. You have these 4 options that you can do. Option number 1, you could sit there and take it in and say, oh, this guy's called me an imbecile. Okay, let me just take it in. And I used to be like that. I would take a lot of things in and these things would really affect me a lot. I would go, and in the evening I'd feel so bad and be like, why did this person tell me this? And why did they hurt me? Because I was an absorber, I would absorb stuff until I realized it's not working anymore. So let me do the second thing. Let me duck. I could choose to duck and say, okay, duckers are different from absorbers, because a ducker would make the target miss. The person attacking. So, oh, you've called me a duck, you've called me a stupid person. I'll not give you the pleasure of you seeing me sad. So I'll live my life knowing that I'll act like I'm okay, and I'll even assume you never said that at all. That's what a ducker would do. Be like, he never meant it. Or, maybe he meant it, I'll not even give it a second thought. I'll move on with life. Just like when a madman insults you, you don't think twice about it. You're like, that guy's a mad person. Why would I think twice about it? So that's a ducker. Then the third option is changing the target, where I say, okay, I used to, let me tell you guys something. I used to feel really bad a lot of times when people would tell me things about how big I was in terms of body weight, like I was obese. I'm glad I'm no longer obese. I'm working towards getting a healthier body. But someone said, you look like a pig. If someone comes and tells me, you're a pig, you look fat. If I'm changing the target, what I'm doing is, I will not absorb it and say, hey, you know what? I want this guy has insulted me. I'll feel bad and cry about it, maybe, or something like that. I'll not do that. I'll not duck in the sense that I'll assume that it never hit me. Well, it actually did. But what I'll do, I'll change the target. Use that energy that the person has had, that bad feeling that is invoked in me, that you've called me a pig, you're fat. What can I do? How can I channel this energy into something constructive, so that I'm changing the target, so that I'm saying, you targeted me by calling me a pig, but instead of doing that, let's target the weight problem. Let's target the healthy living problem. And I change the target, and I use that energy to go to the gym. I use that energy to change my life and become a healthier person. That is changing the target. And of course, the fourth is the one I would never encourage, where I would also attack back and say, hey, you're calling me a pig, then you're a frog, you skin, or something like that. You don't do that. Think about this. I encourage you, as you go through, we'll face conflicts. People will insult you. People will tell you things. People will hurt you in many ways. Don't be a ducker, assuming that never happened. Don't be someone who's an absorber. You say, okay, I can take it. I'm a strong guy. Take a hit at me. But change the target. Look behind it. Jiu-Jitsu, as an art of martial arts, is focusing on that, using the energy that the opponent has against that person and turning it into positive change for your own good. Think about it. And from Elvis Abenga and Begi'S, it's yet another week of Legal Nuggets. God bless you, and we look forward to being of service to you.